Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. It is a beautiful sunny day for baseball here in the Motor City. A perfect day to wrap up a 10-game homestand. Welcome to Comerica Park. We're in downtown Detroit today for the final game in this 3-game series featuring the Cleveland Indians and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario Pemba alongside Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for the final game in this series. The Tigers snapping a 4-game losing streak yesterday, Rod. That's good. If they can get another one today, that would be even better with the road trip coming up.
Well, Kyle Lomstein will get the ball for the Tigers today, and they got a lot of left-handers, the Cleveland Indians, so he'll have to be at his best today. And it's always nice when you go out on a lengthy road trip and you've got a win in your back pocket and you've won another series.
You know what? It's always nice to have Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez in your lineup, too. And really, when the Tigers face the Indians, this is what happens. These two guys really go off. When you look at some of the career numbers, Victor is a .351 career hitter against the Indians, but certainly Cabrera's not going to be outdone at .355. These two have really got it done. And yesterday, Ron, they walked Miggy 3 times intentionally to get to Victor. Victor made it pay.
I don't blame Terry Francona one bit, and I think that Miguel Cabrera is going to start to get this kind of treatment all around baseball. 11 straight years he's driven in over 100 runs. Victor is an awfully special player, but he's not Miguel Cabrera. I think we're going to start to see other managers treat Miggy the same way that Francona did yesterday.
All right, great day to wrap this thing up. We'll get a win for the Tigers, hopefully. Coming up after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard. With one thing going for the Indians today, that would be Michael Brantley. 7 for 8 in the series. Got to find a way to slow him down. Tigers Tribe next. Kyle Lobstein will make the start for the Tigers against the Indians, and Kyle today is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
It's the second time this year that Kyle Lobstein has made a start against the Cleveland Indians. The one thing about Cleveland, they've got a lot of left-handed bats always at their disposal, which means that Kyle Lobstein, if he's locating his pitches, keeping the ball down, working on the edges, he should have success today.
And here we go. The first pitch of today's ball game is a strike called on Jason Kipnis, who is in the leadoff slot today. Michael Bourne has been struggling so much they put him ninth in the lineup this afternoon. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's fouled off at home plate. 0-2 on Jason Kipnis.
It's the first time Michael Bourne has ever batted ninth in a major league game.
Kipnis, Aviles, Brantley will be your top three for the Indians in this one. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he got him strike three in the outside corner. First strikeout of the ball game for Lobstein. Here is the rest of the lineup for the Indians, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Kipnis, Aviles, Brantley, and they just can't get Brantley out. He's in the three spots. Santana, Rayburn, Moss, and your bottom three of Chisenhall, Perez, and Michael Bourne.
Well located fastball, cut fastball variety on the outside. Black thrown to James McCann, who's a catcher today, to catch Kipnis looking.
So Mike Aviles, who is playing short in the ball game this afternoon, batting in the 2 slot and hitting .250 this year for the Tribe. He looks at a strike as Jim Joyce goes up with the right hand.
Aviles very valuable to the Cleveland Indians team. He can play anywhere in the infield and anywhere in the outfield.
Lobstein's 1-1 is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Here's the counts that Lobstein needs to stay out of today. Predictable fastball counts to a dangerous fastball hitting team.
Check swing roller toward first base. That'll be an easy play for Cabrera. And there are 2 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. Cespedes, Davis, J.D. Martinez in the outfield. Third to first reads Castellanos, Iglesias, easy for me to say, Kinsler, and Miguel Cabrera, and James McCann, the rookie, behind the plate.
Well, here's a guy they just can't get out. Michael Brantley's up to .359 this year now.
He missed 6 games this year because he's had some discomfort in his lower back, but you wouldn't know it by the way that he's played the last 2 games. 3 hits on Friday, 4 hits yesterday.
It was his 9th career 4-hit game. Brantley also a couple of RBIs in the series. The 1-0. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Had a great year last year to Brantley. 45 doubles, 200 hits, stole 20 bags, and hit a lot of homers too.
You know, I think Michael Brantley could have a broken leg and he would drag himself on the field to face the Tigers. That's how much success he's had against them. The 1-2 is make it 1-2 now. Strike called on Brantley. 6 RBIs this year for the Indians outfielder. Now the 1-2. And there's strike 3. Brantley is caught looking. A couple of strikeouts. Good start for Kyle Lobstein today. Ball game. Rajai Davis will be starting things off for the Tigers. Their lineup is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. You've got Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Rajai 2 out of 4 yesterday with 3 steals. Victor Martinez batting cleanup, then JD and Yoenis Cespedes in a bottom 3 of Castellanos, McCann, and Iglesias. They are facing the right-handed offerings of Carlos Carrasco.
Another hard thrower that the Cleveland Indians have in their starting rotation. Carrasco can get all the way up to 98 with his fastball. He also has a plus-plus changeup, which was on display his last time out against the White Sox. Even though he only pitched 5 innings, he also has a curveball.
28-year-old native of Venezuela as Rajai Davis settles into the box. A nice day yesterday, and Rajai now batting .297 on the year. And he looks at strike 1 on the outer edge.
It's been very impressive to watch Rajai Davis go about his business, not getting consistent reps, but when he does get a chance to play, you wouldn't know that he's not in there every day.
Here's the 0-1. I agree with that 100%, and also the way he handles himself in the clubhouse. Even when he is not playing, he is still the normal Rajai with the smile, bouncing around the clubhouse.
Carrasco pitched so well last year out of the bullpen before being inserted back into the starting rotation. He simply starts off the game pitching from the stretch these days.
If it works, no use trying to fix it. 2 balls, 1 strike on Davis. Rajai, an 8-game hitting streak right now. Leads the American League in stolen bases with 6.
He's a bona fide thief.
Line toward right field. That'll get down. Base hit, maybe more. Rajai on the run. On his way to second. He's thinking 3. Rajai Davis will dive in with a triple to start this one.
That boy's so fast.
Rarely do you see a triple hit off the wall in foul territory.
Well, Rajai Davis did a very nice job here. He knows he has 2 no matter what. So he hits the ball down into the right field corner, and then he sees it carry him off the fence down there. He doesn't need Dave Clark to tell him he can come to third base. He made the decision by himself, and then once he got to second base, he turned on the jets and had another gear and was able to get over to third base with another triple.
So the Tigers are off and running literally here this afternoon. And for Davis, another extra base hit on the season. First triple of the year. The Tigers quickly with a scoring chance and a strike called on Kinsler. Ian batting .296, 4 for 6 in the series.
Told you that Carrasco has a big arm. Fastball gets up to 98 miles an hour. But usually when runners are in scoring position, he will throw quite a few breaking balls.
Line base hit left field. And the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. 10th RBI of the year for Kinsler. Triple and a single, and the Tigers out to an early lead in this one as Miguel Cabrera comes up, which brings us to our Bernstein advantage. Cabrera certainly has the advantage over Carrasco since 2013, 5 for 11.
And Miggy just loves hitting against the Cleveland Indians pitching. Since putting on a Tigers uniform, there's been no one better than Miggy.
Crowd is already buzzing with the start the Tigers have gotten off to today.
Terry Francona's gotten to the point where he's just tired of pitching to Miguel Cabrera. In a 3-game series in Cleveland a couple of weeks ago, Miggy went 11 for 14, and I think Francona had decided I've seen enough.
3 intentional walks in the ball game yesterday. Was walked 4 times total. And Cabrera fouls it back 0-1.
Take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting defense presented to you by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, they've got Brantley, Bourne, and Moss. Aviles, Kipnis up the middle. Santana, Chisenhall on the corners, and Perez, the starting catcher, behind the plate. Perez does very nice work behind the plate working with Carrasco. When these two team up, it's usually a really good situation. He handles Carrasco beautifully.
Well, prior to that run that he gave up, a 1.78 ERA with Perez behind the dish. So Carrasco Although he has the good matchup with his battery mate, he's given up a triple rather, and a single. No balls, 1 strike on Cabrera. The runner goes, and a line drive, base hit to left. Kinsler is on his way to third, and he is safe at third base.
Tigers have come out with a lot of energy today. Rajay Davis with a triple, Kinsler with a base hit, and a very aggressive secondary lead, and now he goes to third base on that bullet off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. Our boys came to play today.
So the Tigers now with runners at first and third, still nobody out. 3 straight hits greeting the right-hander Carrasco. Here is Victor Martinez. Victor batting .239 now. He's driven in 8. Had a big day yesterday. And his sliced foul back out of play, 0-1.
And generally speaking, Victor Martinez pretty good in these types of situations. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. He has been successful 4 out of 7, which is a little bit better than the major league average.
Kinsler, the runner at third. Cabrera is on at first base. 0-1 on Victor Martinez. High fly ball, right center field. A lot of room out there for Moss. This will be deep enough to score the run. Kinsler will come trotting home. It'll be an RBI for Victor Martinez. Two-0 Tigers. Victor's 9th RBI. Lobstein getting some early support in this game. It'll bring up J.D. Martinez. And J.D. looks at a strike.
That's a well-located fastball there, thrown by Carrasco at 96 miles an hour on the outside, black at the knees. As a hitter, really nothing you can do with that pitch.
Carrasco ready with the 0-1. Here it is. 1 ball, 1 strike.
His slider's 90 miles an hour.
Unbelievable numbers in the second half last year, really from August on for Carrasco, which kind of cemented himself as the number 2 guy behind Corey Kluber. Fouled away, 1-2. Here are today's field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. We've got 53 degrees at game time today. A little bit cloudy, but no threat of rain here this afternoon. Nice day to wrap up this homestand for the Tigers. And the 1-2 outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carrasco, you might remember, in his second start of the year was struck on the jaw by a line drive off the bat of Melky Cabrera, and has come back from that nicely, but still a scary incident early in the season. Amazingly, all it was a bruised jaw. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball, swing and a miss.
And J.D. Martinez saw all 3 of Carrasco's pitches in this particular at-bat. He saw the fastball, then he saw the slider, and then Carrasco was able to get him out with a hanging breaking ball.
So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. Fuentes just 1 for 8 in this series against the Indians, batting .290 now. 13 RBIs on the year.
On Friday, he hit 3 balls extremely hard, but he got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, he was definitely robbed. All in all, though, 8 hits on this homestand.
He's become a much more patient hitter here in Detroit. He takes the first pitch quite often.
The 0-1. There's a strike called 0-2.
That's just some gasoline right there at 96.
Carrasco ready with the 0-2. Fouled back out of play. Cespedes back on Wednesday had a 9-game hitting streak ended. He has started his Tigers career. Got it off to a flying start. He's made some nice defensive plays in the outfield. He's swinging a pretty good bat. Of course, he has a lot more pieces to work with in this lineup that surrounds him with the Tigers this year. Bouncing ball left side, base hit. It found a hole, and the Tigers have another hit here in the first.
Not a bad pitch thrown there by Carrasco. It's a slider. It's located down away from Cespedes, but Cespedes, even though he was fooled, his body was out in front, he kept the hands back, and he found a seam on the left side of the infield.
Carrasco now will get an early visit from Mickey Callaway, their pitching coach. Tigers have put up 4 hits in this inning. Castellanos due up. This was supposed to be the strength of the Indians this year. Their starting rotation with Kluber and Carrasco and Bauer, who was supposed to pitch yesterday but was scratched. They will strike a lot of batters out, that is for certain. In fact, this Indian staff has had 10 strikeout games in 10 different starts this year.
Early visit by the pitching coach, Mickey Callaway. They don't want this game to get away from them in the very first inning, and he also went out to remind Carrasco that Castellanos are hitting better than 500, close to it on first pitches this year.
Strike on the outer edge. 97 miles an hour from Carrasco.
They've got 4 starters that are 96, 97 and above with their fastballs.
Here's the 0-1. Pounded foul down the right field line. Nick is only 1 for his last 16. That 1 is a homer. He's hit 2 home runs on the year. The inning started with a triple by Rajai Davis and then an RBI single by Kinsler. Victor Martinez has the other RBI on a sacrifice fly. The foul back out of play. That'll get back into the seats. 0-2 the count stays on Nick Castellanos. Tigers with their win yesterday, 12-6 on the campaign now, snapping a 4-game losing streak as they continue their mastery against the Indians. They won 11-13 against the Tribe. Swing and a miss. Castellanos is out. So are the Tigers. A couple of strikeouts for Carrasco. Not before the Tigers bring out the big bats early. Rajai got it started with a triple, and it's 2-0.
Successful first inning for Lobstein. I noticed a couple of fastballs being taken by quite a few of the Cleveland Indians hitters. They're looking for breaking balls early in the game, so they may have to adjust really early today because Lobstein had quite a few fastballs in that first frame.
And Lobstein got him 1-2-3, couple of strikeouts. Kipnis and Brantley, and now Santana will start things off.
He's already had quite a few starts against the Cleveland Indians in the last couple of years, so you always have to continue to change. Even though you might be having success against a particular team, you still have to change some of your pitch patterns.
Santana batting .228, 3 home runs on the year. He'll be followed by Rayburn and then Moss. The 0-1 is in for a strike.
He has already walked 12 times this year. Carlos Santana, second only to Alex Rodriguez of the New York Yankees.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Iglesias can't get it into center field, and the Indians have their first hit. Bring up the DH now, Ryan Rayburn, who has done really well against left-handed pitching. .381 this year in the early going. Indians, by and large, have not had a whole lot of success against lefties. Their team average against left-handed pitching this year is only .211. And Rayburn looks at a strike 0-1.
I don't think it's going to get a whole lot better until they balance out their everyday lineup with a few more right-handed bats.
There you see the .381. He sees most of his time against left-handed pitching. Ooh, another strike as Jim Joyce goes up with the right hand.
Lobstein's top fastball probably about 89 miles an hour, but if you can locate it at the knees and you can move it all around the strike zone, you can get yourself some swings and misses, and you can also get some guys to take some strikes. And the Indians have already taken quite a few fastballs for strikes.
The 0-2. Rayburn just got a piece of that one.
That was a nice win yesterday by the ball club after losing 4 consecutive games.
Tigers may have caught a little bit of a break in that Bauer was scratched late right before the start of the ball game, but the Tigers came out, got themselves a nice win.
Oh, Bauer was scared.
Oh, is that the way it was?
No, I'm just kidding.
Here's the 0-2. Ripped down the right field line. That's going to be a fair ball and go to the corner. Rumbling toward third is Santana. They're going to wave him home. Martinez has to dig the ball up off the wall. The throw to third base is in time. Expect to get a challenge on this.
It appeared that Castellanos just kind of stayed with Rayburn as he slid first into third base, and apparently Rayburn must have come off the bag. We'll see.
Regardless, Santana scores on the play.
Rayburn not leaving. He wants his manager to challenge.
And the Indians are deciding right now whether or not to challenge that call.
He looks safe to me.
Yeah, here comes Terry Francona. I think you're right. I think he was safe. So apparently they're going to look at this one now. Jim Joyce, the home plate umpire, is the crew chief, so he will step over and pick up the headsets. Santana singled. Rayburn hit a ball to the corner in right field that followed the wall, and Santana was able to score, and then Rayburn tried for 3. Here's another look at it. Out is signaled by Chad Fairchild.
Trying to figure out why Castellanos came a couple of steps in front of the bag to get that throw from Ian Kinsler. It appeared to me had Castellanos simply stayed on the bag, they may have had a better chance at applying the tag on Ryan Rayburn. Take a look at Castellanos. See, he's out in front of the bag. Now, if he's back on the bag and he allows the ball to travel on its own, I don't think he has to reach back to apply the tag to Rayburn. They may have been able to get him. I don't know. I didn't see anything to convince the umpires in New York to maybe overturn that one.
Agreed. I think that. So you think he's out?
No, I think he's safe.
Okay, yeah. So the original call on the field was out at
right.
But taking a long look at it, that's Jim Joyce with the headsets on.
Jim Joyce is the crew chief. And it's usually the umpire that makes the call along with the crew chief that have the headsets on.
Oh, they called him out.
Wow.
Okay. Tigers take it. So Rayburn gets a double and is thrown out at third base. Gets an RBI as well. And that'll make it a 2-1 ball game.
Now we have all the same looks that they have in New York, correct?
We do. But they decided he was out. Here's Brandon Moss. Base is empty now. They'll play the shift on against Moss. 196 batting average this year. And Moss fouls it away. Foul ball right at home plate. McCann jumped on it just in case it went fair. That RBI for Rayburn was his 8th of the year. Lobstein's 0-1, and it breaks in for a strike, 0-2.
Now, does he get him on the shoulder before the left hand gets on the bag?
Boy, that's tight. That is a really tight call right there. That may have been it.
Well, Chad Fairchild, he is the third base umpire today, and he was all over it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we talked about the replay, but Fairchild, who initially made the call, was right there and apparently got the call right. So props to him. Here's the 1-2. Swing and miss. Lobstein now with 3 strikeouts already.
Yeah, so no more challenges today for Terry Francona. At least he cannot initiate one. It's a good bender here thrown by Lobstein, located very nicely away from Brandon Moss, who just kind of has his way in this ballpark.
That is now going to bring up Lonnie Chisenhall with 2 outs.
Already 3 strikeouts today by Lobstein. He had a 10 strikeout performance against this Tribe team last year.
Kyle working quickly. The 1-0 stays high. 2-0 the count. Lobstein won his first start on April 12th. That was in Cleveland. He admitted he didn't pitch all that well, but certainly well enough to win. He gave up 3 runs in 5 innings.
Yeah, the way the Tigers were swinging the bats in that 3-game series.
Cespedes hauls this one in. Chisenhall is out. So are the Indians, who get a run back. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. And by Oscar Mayer Beef Hot Dogs, it's grown-up food. Tigers and Indians wrapping up this series here at Comerica Park. Tigers wrapping up a 10-game homestand. They lead 2-1 right now. Carrasco goes back to the hill and delivers a strike to James McCann, who is leading it off. McCann, then Iglesias, and then Davis. Tigers put together 4 hits in the 2-run first. McCann shoots a ground ball to short, knocked down by Aviles. Got to hurry. He's going to have to eat it. Leadoff man on.
Yeah, that should go as an error against the shortstop of Aviles. The ball jumped up on him, but once it jumped up on him, he couldn't find it. He looked straight up, and the ball was on the ground, and that way James McCann able to make it to first base safely.
It'll be an error on the shortstop of Aviles. It'll bring up Jose Iglesias. See if the Tigers can take advantage of that miscue.
Iglesias can handle the bat, can bunt for a hit. Brad can use him to hit and run.
He's lining one to center here. That's a base hit. So Iglesias, who came out this year swinging the bat, continues to do so.
Hitting 382 before that solid single right back up the middle. His plate discipline has been outstanding the first 3 weeks of the season, Jose Iglesias.
So an error and a single, that'll bring up Rajai Davis. Defense is something that plagued the Indians last year. They committed a boatload of errors. They had been better early on this season.
Indians on the corners of the infield are expecting a bunt from Rajai Davis.
No sign of one as he looks at a ball inside. Davis now a 9-game hitting streak courtesy of his triple back in the first. Here's the 1-0. Straighten him up 2-0. Davis now 3 out of 5 in this series. Leads the American League in stolen bases with 6. He picked up 3 of them yesterday.
Rajai, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a fastball here.
And he sends one to third. Chisenhall tags the bag 1, throw to second 2, throw to first. Almost got a triple play.
They sure did.
A slower runner, and they turn 3.
Anybody but Rajai Davis running, and it is a triple play. And one hopper right to Chisenhall. He got the ball to the second baseman, Kipnis. And Kipnis, he knew he had to hurry getting the ball on his way to first base, but Rajai Davis able to beat it out.
Two outs and a runner at first base. Ball was hit so hard that the Indians infield had time to nearly turn 3. It'll bring up Kinsler.
Were you surprised that there was no bunt there from Rajai Davis? Or not really?
Not really. I think, Rod, it's still early in the game. The way Rajai's swinging the bat, I mean, I can see the bunt. But I think they probably wanted to take advantage maybe of a bigger inning.
Right.
In retrospect, I wish he would have bunted the way it turned out. 1 ball, no strikes on Kinsler.
There are so many things to factor in as to why Brad did not give him the sac bunt there. And of course, the answer that you gave is a 100% correct answer. Another one is Rajai does not hit into many double plays, and he nearly hit into a triple play.
Exactly.
And the flip side of that is, if you bunt him, you get him in the scoring position, then you at least guarantee Mickey coming to the plate with some runners in scoring position.
Meanwhile, Rajai nearly got picked at first base.
He did. Really quick move here by Carrasco.
Looked like Greg Gibson wanted to call him out, but held back.
Perfect slide by Rajai Davis. He gave Santana, the first baseman, very little to tag with the way that he slid back into first base.
Kinsler, an RBI single back in the first inning. One of the 2 Tiger runs coming in on that base hit. And he fouls it straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carrasco now is up to 31 pitches. And the Tigers already with 5 hits in this contest. Here's the 1-1 runner goes, and it's grounded foul.
Rajai already has 6 steals this year. It's been caught 1 time. The 6 steals lead the American League. And he ain't not even playing every day.
No, he's not.
Rajai Davis, he's a free agent after this season's over as well.
Wasn't it a couple of years ago where Rajai wasn't an everyday player, yet he had about 40 stolen bases or so?
Yeah, he stole more bases by himself than the Tigers did their entire team a couple of years ago.
Another throw back.
Six consecutive seasons with 30+ steals for Rajai Davis, longest active streak in Major League Baseball.
And Carrasco's 1-2. It's another foul ball. Hey, by the way, stay tuned for the Tigers live program following the ball game today. We'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by the 2 for $5 classic quarter pounder with cheese. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ian Kinsler. Now Carrasco with the 1-2 again. Kinsler fouls off another, this one down the third base line, making Carrasco work here. Ian right now has 8 multi-hit games. That's good for 3rd best in the American League. He's working on another one here. He's already picked up a single. Carrasco holding the ball a long time now, and Kinsler steps out.
And Rajai hasn't moved. He's funny.
He is not giving any ground at first base.
Not intimidated at all.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Another 97-mile-an-hour fastball from the hard-throwing Carlos Carrasco, who stands 6'4". He's 212 out of Venezuela.
How about that kid Danny Salazar that the Tribe started against the Tigers on Friday night?
They have seen some hard throwers on this homestand. Runner goes. Broken bat, ground ball to short. Aviles on the backhand. He'll throw him out to end the inning. No runs, a hit. Tigers strand a man. Negro League weekend here this afternoon at the ballpark. The honored Lou Whitaker before the game. He'll join us next. Of course, this is Negro Leagues weekend, and being honored with the Legacy Award this weekend. And here today is Sweet Lou Whitaker, who joins us in the booth now. And Lou, I know that how you feel about the city. You love Detroit. It must be special for you to come back here and get this award.
Well, it's always nice to be back in Detroit. My friend and I, we get up here at least once or twice a year, and hopefully Tigers in the playoffs, and we try to scavenge some tickets. So
you'll find some tickets, Lou.
Hey, tickets not easy in Detroit.
Front row for you, Lou.
Like I said, tickets not easy in Detroit.
How much you follow these current Tigers?
Well, I don't watch a lot of baseball on TV, but I'm always checking the news out, Sports Center, stuff like that, to see what's going on and to see what they're doing. Every now and then I might pick up a paper to check out the standings. The Tigers going to always be in the running in the Central. It's not that like that Power East. Years ago when it was Boston, Yankees, Baltimore, every year was going to be somebody different, whoever got off to the great start. But this division is getting much stronger now, I'll tell you that. They're getting much stronger. Chicago, Cleveland, that was years ago, they were supposed to be in the dominant. Tigers, they will always be there, though. They've been the best team since they've been in this division.
We're with you on that, Lou. There's no doubt about that. As we look at some of the particulars on Sweet Lou and all of the things that he has accomplished over his career, I'm not sure if you can pick one special thing out of this list. What'd you pick?
Well, winning the World Series, of course. Being on the team with Rod Allen, beginning of 1984, that was a treat.
How about selfishly? I mean, from all the things that you did there from an offensive standpoint, what you did on defense, aside from the World Series in '84,
well,
what are you most proud of in your career?
1983, I had 206 hits. I hit 320. I hit a ball over. Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, you was for real.
Of course. I was in the top 10 one time.
I see.
That's all it takes, one time. Be recognized. But I hit a ball out of Tiger Stadium one time. Hey,
that's right.
You're talking about, something to be proud of. But, just playing baseball and being able to play for 19 years, playing with Trammell.
I didn't get a chance to obviously spend that much time with you guys in 1984, but I remember like it was yesterday, the beginning of the season, because I was there for the first couple of months, that after several games, you and I and Gates Brown, we would just kind of hang out in Gates Brown's room and just kind of talk about hitting and talk about baseball, talk about life. I don't think the players nowadays have those same types of relationships with their coaches.
Well, Gator was a special guy, and he was a different guy, and I didn't hang out a lot. So, we would take a cab or the bus to the ballpark. After the game, we'd take the bus or cab back. We'd go to the room, we'd play some cards. We had different card games that we would play. But, no, players, they got their the games, I suppose. I don't know. I don't even know if they go and drink today. Everybody went out to drink after the ball games years ago. But I've never been around the players, so I really don't know what they do. I'm sure they have a great time.
Right.
They got a lot of money to spend to have a great time. If they don't.
Hey, Lou, I want to ask you about your relationship with Tram, because obviously you two were interconnected for nearly 20 years, and you played 19 years in the big leagues, and in all of them with Tram, you came up together. You guys were partners really in the minor leagues at a young age, ages 19 and 20. Talk about that relationship, because you guys, you were roommates, and you were really good friends, weren't you?
Well, we were roommates on the road in minor leagues. We were roommates our first 2 years in the major leagues. So Tram and I, we talked a lot of baseball. We were kids. We were learning. We talked about, playing second base and shortstop together, what it would take to be, major league ball players. But Tram and I, we had many years to work together. We knew each other very well. We knew what each other ate. We knew how fast each other ate. And, we were young, and And we didn't know much about major leagues. We did a lot of traveling. We flew. You know, those were things that we never did. And when we played in Montgomery, we had 8-hour bus rides. You know, and there were times when my legs used to cramp up when we traveled, the long trips, and I started getting up into the top of the bus.
Right.
And because I was so small, and I would have me a pillow and I'd sleep up there.
You mean like the luggage bins up there?
That's right.
That you
That's
could stretch
exactly
out
right.
one of those?
Oh, shoot. I was 155 pounds. I could get up there. I was the only one getting up there. But, I mean, I'd get a pillow, go up there, and I'd sleep. As we traveled, next thing I know, we were getting off the bus, and I felt good. But I used to cramp a lot. My legs used to cramp. Trainers used to tell me to take a lot of salt tablets and eat different produce, you know, to try to alleviate some of that pain. But, you know, we got by. But when we got in major leagues, it was no more long bus trips. It was.
Look at Rajay stretching out there.
He got a nice jump on that ball.
Can of corn.
Like Chet Lemon.
Yeah, I was
like
going to say, remind you of Chet.
Can of corn. Please, line drive right there.
Yeah, Lou, man, busted on Rajay here. Nice play.
No, it's can of corn.
They talk about your
Piece of
relationship
cake.
that
It's easy
and the
play.
influence that Jim Leland had on your career.
Oh, Jim, well, you know, being 18, 19, great impact. You know, I mean, I used to do some things that, you know, maybe I shouldn't have done. And Jim would set you straight. You know, he didn't let you just get away with certain things. But overall, I was his most valuable player in the Florida State League. But we had the good players. You know, I've been fortunate to play with great guys for, you know, even in minor leagues, we had great teams. We won Florida State League. We won Double-A, Southern League. Tram was MVP in the Southern League. I was MVP in the Florida State League.
That's back to the mound. Lobstein will handle it and get the final out of the inning. Louie, we appreciate you coming up. Thanks very much. Congratulations on the Legacy Award. It's always good to see Sweet Lou.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to tell Rajay what you said, too.
Piece of cake, I don't care.
I'm going to tell him.
Piece of cake.
I'm going to tell him.
You could have caught it behind your back, Rod. You know that.
I'm going to tell him.
There's Sweet Lou with Kinsler and Iglesias before the game today. We'll be back. Lobstein, the Tigers in the meantime have a 2-1 lead here as we go to the bottom of the third at Comerica Park. Final game in this series. Our thanks again to Sweet Lou Whitaker spending some time with us. Awfully good to see him at the luncheon we had on Friday, Rod, and had a chance to visit with him in the booth here.
He had a real nice weekend. I think he appreciates the love that was showed to him this weekend in Detroit.
Cabrera starting things off here in the bottom of the third.
Good slider there thrown by Carrasco at 89 miles an hour. Fastballs topped out at 98.
You cracked me up, man. I'm going to tell Rajay what you said about him.
That's right. I'm going to tell it.
Here's the 1-1. Right back up the middle. He's going to find a hold into center field. And so Miggy now 2 out of 2.
Terry Francona just looks at Miggy and like, well, what are we going to do with this dude?
Here's our T-Mobile game changer this afternoon. And Carlos Carrasco's started ranks since August 10th of 2014. We mentioned this guy had a fabulous final 2 months of the year, and here is some of the proof.
He started out the 2014 season in their rotation, and he just could not win a game. So he went down to the bullpen, and when he went down to the bullpen, he found another gear. I mean, he just pitched so well in the bullpen that they had to talk Terry Francona into letting him back into the starting rotation. And then once he got back into the rotation, you saw the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mickey Callaway, their pitching coach, was leading the charge to get him back into the rotation. And they're happy right now that they have. So here is Victor Martinez. Tigers, however, have 6 hits already against him. And Victor looks at a ball outside, 1-0.
Yeah, Indians playing the shift with Victor in the batter's box. Only Lonnie Chisenhall on the left side of the infield.
Victor straightens up, looks at a ball high, 2-0.
Here's where Victor went right, and he's not quite 100% yet, but when he knows he's going to get a fastball from any pitcher, he will simply open up with that front foot, the front hip, and look to turn on something and hit the ball down the right field line. He did it so many times last year.
This time he goes the other way and fouls it back out of play, 2-1. The fastballs from Carrasco today have been anywhere from 94 to 97. High octane arm. JD waiting on deck. Sun is peeking through the clouds now here at the ballpark, which is going to heat things up considerably for the fans. Here's the 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carrasco originally was acquired from the Philadelphia Phillies in a deal that was consummated a couple of years ago, 2009, the Cliff Lee deal. It's taken a while, but he has certainly rounded into the type of pitcher they were hoping they were getting.
Yes, because when the Indians traded Cliff Lee, they were trading away a guy who had just won a Cy Young. Oh, Victor, stop
look at that. How about that piece of hitting? He just serves it out to left field. On his way to third base and in there safely is Miguel Cabrera, and the Tigers are in business again.
What a thing of beauty by Victor Martinez. Here's a little changeup that's tailing away from Victor. He just sticks the bat out. And the way that they were playing him, there was no one down that third baseline, and really good base running by Miguel Cabrera to get himself all the way over to third base. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Well, you play the shift, and sometimes you're going to pay for it.
And that turned out to be a really nice defensive play by Brantley, their left fielder, by coming up and throwing that ball to second base, which means that the double play is still in order for Carrasco.
And that can be big in a 2-1 ball game here in the third. The Tigers now have 7 hits in this contest. JD this year just .217 with men in scoring position, but he can help turn that stat around. Low, 2-0. Back-to-back singles here in the bottom of the third for the Tigers. Here's the 2-0. Bouncing ball to short. That's a 6-4-3, and there's the double play you talked about. But it gets a run in. Tigers now lead 3-1. Let's go back to the studio for a game break. We check in with Matt Shepard. Yeah, they are, Shep, and somewhat surprisingly, the Rays came in at 10-8 along with Boston and the Yankees, so they're hanging in the early going. Here is Cespedes now with the bases empty. Tigers lead by 2. And Yoenis looks at a ball high, 1-0. Cespedes a single, but no damage in the first. That's in there. The unmistakable strike call of Jim Joyce behind the dish. Here's the 1-1. Hit hard right at the shortstop, though, as Aviles makes the play. That'll take care of the Tigers. They get another run on a couple of hits.
Revisit the play last half inning when Victor sliced a single down the left field line. Very important for you kids at home to throw to the proper bases. With Miguel running from first base, he's going to get to third base. There's no doubt about that. There are a lot of guys that would have come up and tried to throw Miggy out, but not Brantley. He comes up, he throws the second to make sure Victor stays at first, and then Carrasco throws the double play ball. And they kind of limit the damage that was done against them in that last half inning by Brantley throwing to the correct base.
And here is Michael Brantley starting things off in the fourth inning.
And we talk a lot about Brantley and the damage that he has done against the Tigers in the last couple of years. I mean, he has just worn out Tigers pitching, but defensively, he really takes a back seat to most guys in the American League.
There's a backhanded play by Kinsler, and Brantley is out. Nice scoop there by Miggy.
Let me say that again. He takes a back seat to no one in left field.
Well, he's committed just 1 error in 400 games now.
There you have it.
Michael Brantley. Unbelievably, he is 0 for 2 today. You don't see that very often. Here is Carlos Santana. Meanwhile, Lobstein just kind of bobbing and weaving his way through this game.
And staying out of the middle of the plate, which he must do because he does not have an overpowering fastball.
Ball 1-2 Santana.
Fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup for Lobstein.
Rod touched on this a little bit earlier, but Kyle last year had that start in Cleveland in September in which he struck out 10 Cleveland Indians. Here's the 2-0.
His only blemish in that game, he gave up a home run to the guy standing in the batter's box. Right now, Carlos Santana.
Here's the 3-0. And it's in there for a strike, 3-1.
And you might not want to throw Santana a fastball here. Might be better served by throwing him something off speed.
And he missed outside with it. It'll be a 1-out walk. Santana gets another base on ball. He's been good at that this year. Hey, Saturday, May 9th, the Tigers face the Royals at 1:08. Be sure to arrive early. A special pregame on-field clinic hosted by the Tigers players and coaches. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com if you'd like to get tickets for the on-field clinic May 9th. Rayburn slaps one to left field. That's a base hit.
Oh, Rayburn doing a pretty nice job this year against left-handed pitching.
And he came in at 381. He's got 2 more hits today. Two men on, 1 out for Cleveland. They'll bring up Brandon Moss.
Moss has just 9 RBIs this year. 7 of those came 2 nights ago on Friday, where he tripled and he homered twice.
Well, he was a guy that hit plenty of home runs in an athletics uniform the last 3 years. Sends a ground ball to the right side under the glove of Kinsler. They're going to wave Santana around. He will come in to score. And now it's a 3-2 ball game.
Ian usually makes that play, or at least knocks it down. It looked like that ball went right underneath the glove of Ian Kinsler.
At the very least there, they get 1 out.
Looked like Ian was coming up and he was going to try to get the force out at second base and came up empty on the ball.
So the game tightens now at 3-2 with runners at first and third and only 1 out. There's Lonnie Chisenhall. Little tapper off the end of the bat, foul. They've ruled that a base hit, which will give Moss another RBI, his 10th of the year. 8 of them in this series. Chisenhall waiting on the 0-1. Bouncing ball to first. Cabrera has it. He's coming home with it. They've got Rayburn now in a rundown. McCann will run him back. And the tag made by Castellanos.
Really nice job there by the rookie catcher, James McCann, who really got Ryan Rayburn running aggressively back toward third base, which allowed Castellanos to apply the tag. He's going to get him running hard. Tag applied by Castellanos.
Miggy immediately made the decision he was coming home with that play. Terry Francona has come out to have some words now with Jim Joyce. So Rayburn is tagged out. Aboard in the fielder's choice is Chisenhall. That'll bring up the catcher Perez. It's the second out that Rayburn has made at third base. He was involved in that play back in the second that was challenged. Perez has a walk. No Yan Gomes these days for the Indians. He was injured in that series against the Tigers back in April at Progressive Field on a slide at home plate. Still making his way back. There's a strike call. In fact, Gomes hated so much being away from his teammates that apparently he drove up from Cleveland today and is here at the ballpark.
Yeah, he's got his uniform on and everything, rooting on his teammates. They had optional batting practice today on the field, did both teams, and Yan Gomes was out there with his teammates.
Lobstein ready with the 0-1. Popped him up. Let's see if there's room for McCann. Coming toward the railing. Makes the play. That'll be it for the Indians. They'll get a run. James McCann, the rookie, with a nice running play. Tigers on top of this one, 3-2, as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning here at Comerica Park. And for the Tigers, it'll be Castellanos, McCann, and Iglesias facing the right-hander Carrasco. It's been a nip and tuck ball game so far in this one. Castellanos struck out in the first inning with a couple of runners aboard. And a swing and a miss. Nick, 7 hits on this homestand. Tigers have 7 hits in this game. 3-7-0 for Detroit. 2-4-1 for the Indians. Here's the 0-1. Carrasco surrendered 2 in the first and 1 in the third. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Carrasco this spring, recently, actually after spring, in early April, signed a 4-year contract. It's a team-friendly contract for the Cleveland Indians. They've locked him up, and well, they're hopeful that he can continue to pitch the way he did last year.
They did the same thing with last year's Cy Young Award winner, Corey Kluber. They also locked him up to a really nice friendly deal. Kluber gets some security, and the team buys him out of a couple of years of free agency.
the Indians did this in the mid-'90s. They're doing it again here as they lock up a lot of their core players.
Yeah, John Hart was their general manager at that time. John Hart now running the Atlanta Braves.
Two and two. There's Corey Kluber. Low 3-2. There was some pushback when Carrasco signed that deal. Many of the players in the association, even his agents, felt that he probably didn't get as much as he was worth. But Carrasco had some heart issues he was dealing with, had some heart palpitations, and had a procedure in the offseason. And the way he felt, you just never know. Swing and a miss. Castellanos is out of there. One gone in the fourth.
Did not throw Castellanos a lot of fastballs in this particular sequence. He finished him off with a changeup at 90, but he threw him everything. Breaking ball, changeups, one fastball.
That'll bring up James McCann.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell someone like a Carrasco that when you're being offered millions of dollars that you shouldn't take it because they're not paying you enough.
There's a bender missing high. Well, you throw on top of that the fact that he had Tommy John surgery in 2012, and you know, there's some things in his past that, you know, make you believe that if you're offered a chance at security, jump at it. And he was, and he did. 1 ball, 1 strike. McCann reaching on an error by Vilas his first time up. Missed it high. 2 balls, 1 strike. What do we have by inning here on Carrasco? 23 in his first inning. Much more economical since. Bouncing ball to third. Chisenhall will throw him out. 2 gone. 0 for 2 for McCann. We'll bring up Iglesias. Sharp single up the middle for Jose in his first at bat. That was back in the second. And then has bumped his average up to 393. Looks at a ball inside. 1-0.
He's got great plate discipline right now, not leaving the strike zone that often, chasing pitches. Always seems to have himself in a fastball friendly count, as he is right now. Defensively, boy, he is, if not the best, he is one of the best shortstops in the American League. Made a great play yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one after another with Iglesias. You wonder how he can top his previous best play, but he finds a way to do it.
He made a play on a ball yesterday that looked like he was in left field. He dove in that direction and somehow able to catch that line drive.
2-2.
That's a good pitch there by Carrasco, who's not throwing nearly as hard now as he was at the beginning of the game. He came out today throwing 97, 98. His last few innings, he's been 93, 94 with a much better breaking ball.
Checked it. Did he go? Yes, he did. Tried to get out of the way and strikes out instead. And 1-2-3 go the Tigers in the 4th inning. So as we head to the 5th, that is April in the D here in the Motor City. Tigers and Indians right now. Tigers holding on to a slim lead.
Funny encounter, the 2-year anniversary of the 17 strikeout performance turned in by Anibal Sanchez against the Atlanta Braves. This game came in April 2 years ago, and he was simply sensational that night.
17 punch outs. You see Mickey Lolich, and he's done it a couple of times. 16. 15 strikeouts as well for Lolich in a game. 17 for Anibal Sanchez. There's Sanchez sitting on the bench.
Anibal was pretty good his last outing. Had 8 strikeouts in that game. Didn't win, but he was pretty good.
And was much better, no doubt. Michael Bourne leading it off as we play here in the 5th inning. 3-2 in favor of the Tigers. Bourne reaching on a fielder's choice. Has been struggling mightily, and therefore Terry Francona bumped him down to number 9 in the lineup.
For the most part, Michael Bourne has struggled since putting on a Tribe uniform.
Certainly not the player he was in Houston. I mean, he was a dynamic player. There's still a lot of bases, hit for pretty good average.
He was a good player in Atlanta as well.
Here's the 2-2. Got him. Strike 3. Bourne is punched out, and he's 0 for 2.
The Indians continue to look for breaking balls against Lobstein, and Lobstein is just flipped the script here today. He's thrown a lot of fastballs in counts where he normally throws them off speed stuff.
Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. There's Jason Kipnis. Strike called on Kipnis. Strikeout, fly out in this game, and he pulls this one on the ground. Diving stop, Kinsler from a knee. Throws him out. And Iglesias clapping his hands out there in short.
Ian Kinsler, we talked about him last half inning, how he didn't make a play like this. We've seen him do it so much, and the key here is that once he makes the play, he knows he has plenty of time to get to the one knee and not rush his throw, but make an accurate throw to Miguel.
What a double play combination the Tigers have up the middle, and Kinsler and Iglesias. It's about as good as you get defensively, really, and offensively.
No coincidence that Kinsler wearing number 3 and Iglesias wearing number 1. The most prolific double play combination in Tigers history were worn, those numbers, by Tram and Lou.
No balls, 2 strikes. Mike Aviles. Lobstein missing high, 1-2.
You might as well go back in there with another fastball. You know that Aviles is not looking for one, judging by the one that he took the last fastball.
And it's popped in the air to shallow center. Rajay Davis coming in, camping now. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Lobstein. Great defensive play in the inning by Kinsler. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. 3-2 as the Tigers and the Indians move along to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Comerica. Rajai Davis leads it off and looks at strike one. It'll be Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera. Tigers got a run in the 3rd after scoring 2 in the 1st. Checked it, but he went, says Jim Joyce.
A good two-seam fastball there thrown by Carrasco with some late life.
Rajai very nearly hit into a triple play in his last at bat. He does have a triple and a run scored in this game. Not to mention a 9-game hitting streak now.
Rajai had a good day yesterday.
Blowing away 2-2. We were talking about this earlier, but it really is intriguing because for guys that haven't played every single day and get sparse playing time, which has been the case for Rajai, he's done some pretty good work.
Yeah, somehow, some way, he's been able to keep himself ready.
Oh, it's hit by the pitch and a ball that comes in from Carrasco. And Davis will take his base.
That's that same two-seam fastball at 93 ran into the hands of Rajai. Looked like he got more bat than he got hand, to be honest with you.
Sounded like it too.
But for Carrasco, you know that you just made a huge mistake, because usually singles and hit by pitches to a guy like Rajai Davis, they turn into doubles.
Kinsler knocked in a run in the 1st inning, RBI single. And there's a strike 0-1. Dave Clark running through the signs at 3rd base. Checked it. They want the appeal, but he did not go.
Carrasco is fairly quick with his slide step to home plate. He's about 1.1 seconds in getting the ball out of his hand into the glove of the catcher, Perez. And so if you're Rajai Davis and you're going to try to steal, man, you better get a good jump.
There he goes. Ground ball, base hit, left field. Davis takes the turn on his way to 3rd. Is going to get in there standing up.
One of the things that Rajai has told us is he's fearless. He doesn't really care who's on the mound or who's catching. If he feels like he can steal a base, he's going to do so. And he gets a pretty good jump. And by the ball going into left field, he runs right in the face of Michael Brantley, the left fielder, knowing that Brantley would not throw him out.
That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera now with runners at 1st and 3rd. And a chance to add to their lead. Miggy 421 with men in scoring position. That, as they say, is awfully good. Kinsler drawing a throw.
And nowhere to put Miguel Cabrera in this particular situation. Terry Francona walked Miggy intentionally 3 times yesterday. Miggy walked a grand total of 4 times in the game.
Low ball 1. That base hit, by the way, for Kinsler is the 8th of the afternoon for the Tigers. Scott Atchison warming up. Right-hander for the Indians. The 1-0. Bouncing ball foul right by Davis at third. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cabrera. 2 singles of his own here this afternoon. His average now is up to a robust 373. Victor waiting on deck. Runner goes. The 1-1 is swung on and missed with no throw. Stolen base for Kinsler. His 3rd of the year. Miggy now with 2 guys in scoring position.
He's got 2 strikes on him, which means that Francona's not going to walk Miggy intentionally.
Cabrera not offering at that pitch in the dirt. Blocked nicely by Perez. Trouble in this inning started with a hit batter. Rajay Davis hit by the pitch to start the frame. And now Cabrera waits on a 2-2. Here it is. Low, 3-2. Cabrera came into this game batting .355 lifetime against Indians pitching. He has added 2 more hits today. Time call. Perez going to walk out to the mound. They don't want to be anything but on the same page at this point. Cabrera right now is 5th in the American League in hits. He can stretch the Tigers' lead with another hit here. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. That is a rather gargantuan strikeout for Carrasco.
Now they can simply walk Victor Martinez. They don't have to face Victor with the base open, and they can play for the double play with J.D. Martinez. There's no way they pitch to Victor here, especially after what Victor did his last time up. Victor, very patient hitter. They had to shift on him. He finally got something that was down and away from him, and a little check swing down in the left field corner for a single. It's our Nissan drive of the game.
Well, the guy on deck has bounced into a double play, so they're just going to walk him intentionally and play for 2. This is treatment that Martinez was very used to last year. 5th intentional walk of the year for Martinez. And here comes ball 4 now for Martinez. That'll load the bases. Well, it's April in the D on Fox Sports Detroit. Visit the life-size bobbleheads of Detroit Tigers Victor Martinez and Ian Kinsler at the GM Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit. For more information on April in the D, visit foxsportsdetroit.com.
Yeah, that is now the 10th intentional free pass given to Detroit hitters, which leads the American League. That's number 5 for Victor. And Miguel has been walked 4 times already this year.
So here is Martinez. Low, 1 ball, no strikes.
If you're JD, you're looking for 1 pitch in 1 situation. You're not trying to get greedy. You're simply trying to hit a fly ball deep enough to the center fielder Michael Bourne or Brandon Moss, which would be good for a sac fly. Anything other than that's a bonus.
Tigers have hit into 20 double plays this year, tied for second most in the majors. That's something that JD wants to stay away from here, and he's got himself in a 2-0 count.
Right-handed batter, 85% of the time this year, Carrasco has thrown a fastball. So if you're JD, you're looking for one pitch in one area. In everything else, don't even swing at it.
Here's the 2-0, and he hooks one fair inside the bag at third base. Davis scores. Kinsler right behind him. He will score. Cabrera will go to third. It's a clutch double for J.D. Martinez.
Told you that 85% in that particular situation, 2 balls, no strikes. Carrasco throws a fastball. J.D. was looking for a fastball, but he got an 88-mile-per-hour slider, and his bat was sped up by the speed of the pitch, and he caught it out front and hooked it down the third baseline for a double and a couple of more RBIs. You can see where the bat makes contact with the ball. He's clearly looking for that mid-90s fastball.
So now Cespedes with first base open. Will get walked intentionally as well. That will reload the bases. Martinez, meanwhile, RBIs 13 and 14 on the year. And there's ball 4.
That's the first free pass, intentional free pass given to Cespedes so far this year.
Looks like that's going to be it for Mr. Carrasco. 91 pitches in this game, and he has thrown his last. So the Indians will go to the bullpen here. It's a Wallside Windows pitching change. Bases loaded with Tigers. We'll be back. And the Indians have gone to the bullpen here in the 5th inning, and they bring out Scott Atchison.
Yeah, Scott Atchison pitched in 70 ball games last year out of the bullpen for the Tribe, and he's on pace to do it once again this year, pitching in his 8th game. The earned run average, there's no blemish there. Pretty much cut fastballs and sliders exclusively thrown by Atchison these days.
Here is Castellanos to face him. 5 runs, 9 hits Detroit, 2 runs, 4 hits Indians, and Castellanos looks at a strike.
That's a well-located cut fastball at 84 thrown by Atchison, knowing that Castellanos loves to swing at the first pitch. He couldn't handle that first pitch.
Well, Carrasco started this inning by hitting Rajay Davis, and it's been downhill since for him. That's in for a strike, and it's 0-2 now on Castellanos. A 2-run fifth inning for the Tigers. They lead 5-2. Kyle Lobstein enjoying the offensive support. Swing and miss. Boy, Castellanos with a half-hearted swing there for out number 2. And he has fanned 3 times in this game.
Every pitch was the exact same pitch. Slider at about 84 miles an hour.
He's going to bring up James McCann. Six strikeouts for Indians pitching today. And McCann looks at a strike 0-1. He was not so sure that that was a strike. Atchison trying to help out the ERA of the starter Carrasco. Those are all 3 of his runs sitting out there on the bases. 39 years of age, born in Denton, Texas. Numbers on Carrasco to this point. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball right side. And it's gobbled up there by Kipnis. And that'll end the inning. Tigers get 2 more big runs, though. We go to the 6th.
Tigers got on the board first, a triple by Davis, a single by Ian Kinsler, and Victor Martinez also drove in a run. The second inning for the Indians, they were able to score 1 run on a double by Ryan Rayburn down in the third base, the right field corner, and then J.D. Martinez in the 5th inning drives in 2 more runs. The Tigers with a 5-2 lead over the Tribe.
So Lobstein goes back to the hill in the 6th inning. Michael Brantley will start things off. Tigers about hit the Indians today, 9-4, and lead by 3. Brantley is 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out. And they back him out of there. 1 ball to no strikes on Michael.
Michael Brantley has a really quiet approach in the batter's box. Not a lot of moving parts. Basically just picks the front foot up and puts it right back down. Great hand-eye coordination.
Entered this ball game at 344 career versus Detroit.
Didn't have much of a spring training because he was battling a sore back. He's already missed 6 games during the regular season as well. All-Star last year for the first time, Michael Brantley.
Nearly an MVP, finished third. Right behind Trout and Victor Martinez. 2-1 on Michael Brantley.
It's funny because if you knew his dad, you watch his dad play. Polar opposites as far as the swings are concerned. His dad, Mickey, he would swing the bat, and on many occasions his helmet would fly off.
And as you might expect, Mickey was Michael's hitting coach and hitting instructor, at least from the family side of things, always watching his at-bats on television.
Yeah, they say they talk every single night.
One gone. Well, see the Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins Wednesday, May 13th at 7:08. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Tigers 2015-16 wall calendar. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. Visit tigers.com. It's going to bring up Carlos Santana, who is now 4 for 8 career against Lobstein with a home run. He's been on base twice in this game. Single walk. He's come around to score 2. Here's the 1-0. Popped him up. A mile high, middle of the infield. Kinsler has it. Round number 2. Time for game break now. We go back to the studio. Matt Shepard. No, neither one of them is right, to be sure. That series, by the way, between the Tigers and the Royals is going to be an interesting one.
And meanwhile, we're going to have to figure out a way to watch that fight coming up on this road trip somewhere.
We will find a way to do it.
A Pacquiao fight.
Rayburn looks at a strike. 1-1. Who you got in that fight?
Floyd.
Ooh, you thought about it, though.
No, Merriweather's going to win that fight.
Yeah. Here's the 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And the winner takes on the Kansas City Royals.
Who would win that fight? I'm still going with Floyd. The 2-1. 2-2 on Rayburn. Single double for Rayburn plus an RBI.
Boxing's just not the same, man. I remember back in the days with Muhammad and Joe Frazier and George Foreman and Jerry Quarry.
Jerry Quarry.
Oh, yeah.
Which one of those doesn't belong? That ball is deep in the left field, and that ball is gone. No, caught. Well, Lobstein gets some help from a buddy out there, Cespedes. Look at you. Why does Cespedes go up here against the wall? That thing didn't even come close to going out. Nice job, Cespedes. in play up against the wall in left field. Rayburn hit another ball hard, but this time came up empty. And now here is Iglesias, who is third in the league in hitting, right behind Jones and Kane. And it's ball one inside to Jose. 5-9-0 for the Tigers, 2-4-1 for the Indians. There's a strike called, and the count goes to 1-1. Iglesias a single and a strikeout. Davis to follow, then Kinsler. Facing Scott Atchison, who came on to get a couple of outs with the bases loaded last inning. Hit the outside corner that time, 1-2.
And pretty much every pitch that Atchison throws to right-handed batters is either a fastball at 90 away or a slider about 84, 85 away.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Rajai Davis waiting on deck. In the air to right field. Hit pretty good but playable. Brandon Moss under it. It'll be a 1-for-3 now for Iglesias. 1 gone. Now Rajai Davis. Davis on base twice, and each time he's been on base he has scored. In fact, it was his hit by pitch that got it rolling in the 5th inning. Strike 1 on Rajai. Swinging late, sends it back in the seats, 0-2. Lobstein today has given up just 4 hits. The Tigers, meanwhile, have supported him with 5 runs on 9 hits. Davis getting the start today. The Tigers have decided to give Anthony Gose a couple of days. He's been struggling with the strikeouts. Brad said before the game today he'll be working with Wally quite a bit in the cage, try and get his swing back, and just have him step away for a couple of games. That's all.
It's a good thing to do, especially when you have someone like Rajai, who has been so productive, to step in Gose's absence while he gets back on track.
Here's a bouncer back up the middle. Diving stop of Vilas, but he's going to have no chop.
Once he left his feet, regardless of how quickly you get up, and there was no way that he was going to throw Rajai Davis out.
Second hit of the game for Davis.
And once he goes down, it really doesn't matter how quickly you get up. And Rajai was already cruising down the line and simply broke it down as he approached first base. Now he applies the oven mitt and getting ready to try to steal his 7th bag of the year.
Kinsler is up there now with 1 out. That is the 10th Tigers hit in this game.
It's good to see the offense start to perk up again. Yesterday was a good offensive day.
They went through that stretch in the Yankees series and even in the Pittsburgh series where they were shut down offensively. The difference was they were able to get a couple of wins in that Pirates series.
Yeah, they outpitched the Pittsburgh Pirates in the series.
That's it for a strike, going 1 on Ian Kinsler. Average up to a healthy 311 now. Kinsler with an RBI single in the first, base hit, stolen base, run scored last at bat. Oh, 2 on Kinsler.
Atchison pretty quick at getting the ball to the catcher Perez. Is the reason why Rajai Davis hasn't attempted yet to steal second. He's about 1-1. If you weren't with us a couple of days ago, we told you anything around 1-2, 1-3 is a really good time. And for a pitcher getting the ball to the catcher, that would usually throw out most base stealers. And the problem is Rajai is not most base stealers.
6 of them so far for Davis. Leads the American League. Hard hit ball right to the shortstop of Vilas. So Kinsler comes up empty despite scalding the baseball. Billy Hamilton of Cincinnati has 12. D. Gordon, then Polanco, and then Davis. Those are the major league leaders.
I didn't realize Gregory Polanco was that fast. He's a big guy, isn't he?
He's a big guy, but they say a 5-tool guy can really run. We haven't seen him a whole lot, just in interleague play here and there. There's the ball outside, 1-0. Miguel with 2 hits, 2 for 3 today. Fly ball hit well to right field. That thing is tattooed to the track, to the wall. Moss looks up and it's gone. Opposite field home run, Miguel Cabrera. That is his 3rd hit today.
Told you that Scott Atchison, the pitcher on the mound, has not thrown one ball inside of the 21 pitches that he has thrown since coming into the game, and Miggy recognizes this. He grabs the breaking ball that really didn't do a whole lot. It's right over the heart of the plate, just spinning, and drives the ball the opposite way. Tigers have 3 or 4 guys that are right-handed batters in the middle of their batting order that have a lot of juice in the bat, and they can find the seats in the opposite direction.
Number 3 for Cabrera. Nice catch out there by that fan. And here is Martinez, who looks at ball 1 inside.
And those are the first runs given up this year by Atchison. And all 3 of Miggy's home runs this year have come courtesy of Tribe pitching.
11th hit of the ball game for Detroit. And Cabrera now with 12 RBIs.
That's why Terry Francona walked Miguel 3 times intentionally yesterday.
Martinez had a rip at a 2-0 and fouls it straight back, 2-1. Sac fly single and an intentional walk for Martinez. Action in the bullpen for the Cleveland Indians. That's Mark Zepchinski, the left-hander.
Rajai Davis has scored 3 more runs today.
And he also extended his hitting streak to 9 straight. Three and 2 now on Victor. JD Martinez on deck. Should Victor reach? Atchison came on with the bases loaded in the 5th and struck out Castellanos and got McCann to ground out. Lofted back out of play. Pulled on the ground, foul. Greg Gibson had to get out of the way and then signal.
Omar Vizquel having some fun with first base umpire Greg Gibson.
That's pretty close.
Omar told Greg Gibson, that's how I used to get up.
Maybe a little more gracefully. That's drilled toward left field. And that's going to be caught on the move by Brantley. To end the inning now before the Tigers strike again. Miguel Cabrera. Opposite field, 2-run homer, his 3rd of the year. At Comerica Park on Friday, May 8th to take on the Tigers at 7:08. Don't miss the Central Division Showdown. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Well, Miguel Cabrera has lengthened the lead. It's now 7-2 in favor of the Tigers. Kyle Lobstein goes to work and misses inside to Brandon Moss.
And Miguel Cabrera pretty much has been a one-man wrecking crew in the 6 games played this year against the Tribe. Batting .652, 15 for 23. 15 for 23.
Another big day today. Moss takes inside again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here are those numbers graphically. 3 homers, 8 RBIs. He has scored 6 times.
I wouldn't pitch to him either if I was Terry Francona.
2-2. Moss is 1 for 2 today with an RBI single.
Terry Francona used to manage a guy that had the same kind of skill set that Miguel Cabrera has. That would be Manny.
So base hit to center field for Moss, his second hit. Manny Ramirez for a while there was considered the best right-handed hitter in the game.
And he will go down as one of the best right-handed hitters of all time, along with Miggy.
Numbers on Lobstein so far. That was the 5th hit that he's allowed in this game.
2 of those by Moss.
Chisenhall is 0 for 2, fly out, ground out.
Jim Joyce, well, he let you know when it's a strike, doesn't he?
You will know if you're sitting behind the plate or in standing room only out in right field. Doesn't matter. His voice carries. Ground ball right side, finds a hole, base hit. Chisenhall is aboard, and the Indians now have back-to-back singles.
And top fastball so far this afternoon thrown by Kyle Lobstein. 88 miles an hour. And we thank Xfinity for the readings on the fastball and the changeup thrown by Lobstein.
Jeff Jones making his way out to the mound now. Tigers have some activity in their bullpen. They've got a couple of guys warming up. Nesbitt, the right-hander. Hardy is the left-hander.
Nice slow walk by Jeff Jones to give Nesbitt and Hardy to get loose.
So after a 1-2-3 5th and 6th inning, a couple of base hits greeting Lobstein here in the 7th, and hence the bullpen beginning to tune up. Here is Roberto Perez. Walk and a pop-up in this game.
Perez has already grounded into 2 double plays this year. Number 3 would be lovely.
Fly ball, left center field. Rajay Davis circling back, still going back to the warning track to make the catch. Runners will tag, and only the lead runner, Moss, will move up.
Chisenhall should have been able to tag up as well and get to second base, but he was late getting back to the first base bag, and therefore he couldn't advance.
First and third now with 1 out.
Which still keeps the double play in order for Lobstein, even though you've got a speedy batter standing in the batter's box in Michael Bourne.
Bourne continues to struggle. Strikeout, ground ball in this game. And sends a ground ball to second base. Kinsler, Iglesias, quick throw, not in time. They almost got the double play. A run will score.
The ball got hit very hard, but it gives you an idea of just how athletic Kinsler and Iglesias are up the middle. as soon as Ian got the ball in his glove, he shuffled it very quickly to Iglesias, and Iglesias took very little time getting the ball on its way to Miguel Cabrera. These two awfully fun to watch.
They can get it done up the middle, and they have in this game. 7-3 ball game now with 2 outs. Here's Kipnis. In there for strike 1. Lobstein trying to give the Tigers 7 innings today. Would be his longest outing of the year. It already is, to be honest with you. 6 2/3 at this point. And now Kinsler will go to first to end the inning. 7 in the books for Kyle Lobstein. The Tigers lead this afternoon, coming up the Dick Scott Automotive 7th inning stretch. Rod back here at Comerica Park, and for the Tigers, well, they're trying to close out this series and this homestand with a win, and they've played well today, but Kyle Lobstein giving the Tigers 7 strong innings.
Well, they knew Kyle Lobstein going up against this Cleveland Indians team, he would do well because they have so many left-handed bats, and then when they have to throw in some of their right-handers, they're not necessarily their everyday players, but the Tigers' offense is perked up again, and Miguel Cabrera, he's right in the middle of it.
He is, but so is Rajai Davis, and it's just kind of amazing the start he's gone off to this year, as you mentioned, without consistent at-bats this season.
And he could really be complaining. The dude hit 282 last year, and he was a major reason why the team was successful, winning his 4th consecutive division title, but he hasn't complained. Ghost has gotten a lot of time in center field, but every time Rajai Davis gets a chance to play, he just comes up and does something special.
Well, here is a game summary today. We talked about Lobstein and his outing this afternoon. 7 innings, 3 earned runs. And Miguel Cabrera, well, another big day against the Indians. 3 out of 4 today with a homer and a couple of RBIs. So Lobstein has to feel good about his effort this afternoon. We'll see if the Tigers can build on their lead now. They will try and do it against the new pitcher, Mark Zepchinski.
8th game now that Mark has been in. The ERA is a little elevated right now. It sits at 6. He has 3 holds, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks for the soft-throwing left-hander. He does not throw all that hard. Relies on movements to get you out.
First pitch from Zepchinski is a strike to J.D. Martinez. Carrasco, Atchison, and now Zepchinski. – 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – 2 – 1. 2 – 1 – JD doubled in a couple of runs in his last at bat, and Martinez now with 14 driven in, which has given him the team lead in that category. Here's the 1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2 on Martinez. Tigers today about hit the Indians 11-6. That's how you spell Zepchinski.
Spell it.
You just saw it. I don't need to spell it. It starts with an R. I know that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. RZEPCZYN ski.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Here's the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Didn't go around. Perez wanted the appeal down there, but was not given an appeal by Jim Joyce. Drill to right field. Moss coming on. Got a late jump on that ball.
It's the second time that Moss has made a catch like that in the series. He gets initially a good jump, and then he hesitates and slows down, and then he has to leave his feet to make the grab, which he's able to do.
Sprawling play out there in right field by Moss. Another hard hit ball for JD Martinez. Cespedes walked intentionally in his last at bat. Strike 1.
It's the 11th time the Tigers have been given a free pass this year, which leads the American League.
One ball, 1 strike on Cespedes. Zepchinski came up with the Blue Jays system, spent some time with the Cardinals, and then was acquired by the Cleveland Indians. He slings one outside.
If you're Cespedes, you don't want to get yourself out here. You work the count into your favor. 2 balls and 1 strike. If he throws you that 2-seamer away from you, don't try to pull it.
2-2.
So you work really hard to get yourself in a really nice count, so you shouldn't be over aggressive. That's a little breaking ball that's outside off the plate. You can see how aggressive Cespedes was. His approach should have been trying to drive the ball up the middle and the right center field. If Zepchinski makes a mistake, he can turn on it.
Swing and a miss, and out of there on strikes for the second out is Cespedes.
And throwing back-to-back breaking balls, the second of which bounced in front of home plate.
It'll be the 7th strikeout this afternoon for Cleveland pitching. 3 of them have come against Nick Castellanos. And Nick looks at a strike 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is in for a strike, and now Castellanos, having a rough day already, finds himself down 0-2.
Zepchinski reached back to get 93 with that 4-seam fastball inside to Castellanos.
Rolled toward third base, gobbled up there by Chisenhall. That's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning. On our way to the 8th inning at Comerica Park. Tigers baseball today, presented by Bell Tire.
run was turned in by Ian Kinsler in the 5th inning, taking a base hit away from Jason Kipnis, leaving his feet, getting to one knee, and throwing accurately to Miguel Cabrera.
Well, we've got a new pitcher now for the Tigers. Coming out of the bullpen is Angel Nesbitt.
A nice job today by Kyle Lobstein. Lobstein gave up 3 runs on 6 hits. It's a quality start for Kyle. Now you have the Angel Nesbitt with a big arm, 95 with the fastball. He's got a little two-seamer he's continued to work on. He also has a slider.
Angel, 24 years old, native of Venezuela, and he will face Aviles, who looks at a strike. Aviles, Brantley, and Santana.
A different contrast in pitching. They were facing Lobstein, whose top fastball was 88 miles an hour, pitching left-hander. Now it's Nesbitt, whose fastball gets up to 95.
Gotta get her started a little bit earlier now. 0-2 on Aviles. 0 for 3 in the game for Aviles. Here's the 0-2. Just off the plate.
Where you going, Nesbitt? He's getting ready to walk around the mound. Let Jim Joyce do his job.
Look at you calling him out.
Check him out, though.
Oops. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Opponent is batting just 174 against the young right-hander. Very affable personality. Here's the 2-2. Right straight back. Nesbitt made this team out of spring training. Had himself a really good spring, opened up some eyes, and he was the one guy really from the start of spring camp to the end that a lot of coaches talked about. Checked it. He did not go.
Nesbitt also had a lot of people rooting for him in spring training. He was the talk of the camp and basically pitched his way onto the staff.
And the 3-2. It'll get foul back into the seats. Aviles, Brantley, Santana, 2-3-4 for the Indians, 7-3 Tigers. We're in the top of the 8th in this series finale and homestand finale for Detroit. Bouncing right back up the middle, Kinsler only able to knock it down. It'll be a leadoff single for Aviles. Fans, it's April in the D. Join us again tomorrow for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Red Wings face off against the Lightning. Our coverage begins at 6 p.m. with Red Wings Live. Red Wings Lightning tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports Detroit. Thrilling win last night. Round 1 of the Eastern Conference. And hopefully the Wings will be able to put the finishing touches on in Game 6. Here's Michael Brantley. Tap foul, 0-1. A couple of groundouts today for Brantley and a strikeout. One of the few times he hasn't done any damage against Detroit. Lane Hardy is still warming up. Brantley currently has a 10-game hitting streak against the Tigers. Nesbitt wants a ground ball here. One ball, one strike. Way outside. 2-1 now on Brantley. Tigers will hop the plane after this ball game today. They will fly to Minnesota. Target Field is the next destination. A 3-game series against Minnesota.
Jose Iglesias is basically playing Michael Brantley directly behind the second base bag, which is kind of odd because Brantley hit well over 300 and usually drives the ball to all fields. Here's proof of that. He'll use left field, center field, and right field as well. But yet Iglesias right there.
Somewhere there are some numbers that indicate that you need to play the shortstop there, despite the fact that Brantley does use all parts of the field. That one is tap foul. 3-2. Santana waiting on deck. Lobstein started, went 7 innings, gives way to Nesbitt here in the 8th. Is on the ground and under the glove of Kinsler into right field. Aviles will scoot all the way to third. He is in there safely. And so Brantley gets his first hit of the day. It'll leave runners at first and third with nobody out.
Take a look at the pitch by pitch. Brantley in his at bat against Nesbitt, working the count into his favor. No balls and 2 balls, 1 strike. Finally hits one off of his left shin. Then he gets another fastball inside, able to turn on it right past the diving Ian Kinsler. Well, you knew you weren't going to get him out all day long.
No, but apparently this was the at bat. He now has an 11-game hitting streak against Tigers pitching. Meanwhile, Jeff Jones has come out to talk with Nesbitt. Santana now stepping in as Blaine Harney is should be good to go if needed here.
They'll have Hardy ready for Brandon Moss for sure.
Santana popped up his last time. Yanks that one foul. Single walk, 2 runs scored for Carlos Santana. Switch hitting first baseman. He got 13 walks now, which trails only Alex Rodriguez in the American League. Bouncing ball to first. Foul ball, they call it. And Aviles will go back to third.
It's call made immediately by the first base umpire, Greg Gibson. But a nice job by Miguel, just continuing to complete the play.
Meanwhile, 0-2 on Santana, who calls time. Three for 7 in the series for the Indians. And Nesbitt now with the 0-2. Checked it. He did not go. Jed Fairchild said he held up.
Looked like he checked his swing.
One-two bounces in, and that will allow Brantley to get to second base. So a single here by Santana could play a couple. Wild pitch advancing the runner. Meeting on the mound now as Can goes out there to switch up the signs for the runner at second base. 2-2 the count. We're in the eighth. 7-3 Tigers. However, the Indians are threatening. Inside, and the count fills now 3-2.
It's the second batter in this inning where Nesbitt has been able to get ahead of the hitter. No balls and 2 strikes only, and to work the count back into the hitter's favor of 3-2. Aviles, who led off the inning, also was up there in an 0-2 count.
Soft line drive, broken bat line drive into right field, scores a run. Aviles comes in, Brantley goes to third, and it's a brand new ball game now, 7-4 with 2 men on.
And well, for Brad Ausmus now, you have to decide whether you want to face Rayburn or if you want to go to your bullpen and bring in someone else. And if you bring in, they might just pinch hit Murphy in that situation.
Well, Jabba Chamberlain now has begun to warm up in the Tigers bullpen. Hardy would be good to go. So Rayburn steps in, and a 3-run game is the tying run. It's already doubled in 2 in this game, or doubled in 1, I should say, and that is skied in the air to shallow right. And Martinez will run in there to get it, holding the runner at third base. And it's the first out. And that's going to be it for Nesbitt, with Blaine Hardy going to come in now to face Brandon Moss.
Well, he knows that Terry Francona is not going to pitch hit for Brandon Moss.
So Nesbitt gives up 3 hits in the inning. He will depart. Tigers go to the pen on a wall side windows pitching change.
Game. Kyle Lofstein, 7 innings today, pitched very well, and gave up 6 hits, 4 strikeouts. 3 of the 4 strikeouts were looking because the Cleveland Indians were looking for breaking balls early, and he was throwing fastballs early in the game. and then he started throwing some breaking balls later on in the contest. He's in line to win this game.
Well, the Tigers bullpen going to have to help him out, though, here in the 8th inning as Hardy comes in to face Moss. The numbers on Blaine Hardy. 7-4 in favor of the Tigers. They have runners at first and third, do the Indians, and only one out. Moss looks at a ball outside, 2-0. Hardy was recalled from AAA Toledo right before the game on April 9th. Did not make the team out of spring camp. High fly ball right field. And Martinez just about to the warning track. This will get another run in. Just missed it. Sac fly for Moss. He'll settle for that. His second RBI of the day as well. So it's a 2-run game now, 7-5 with 2 outs, and here is Lonnie Chisenhall. Single in 3 at bats, and he looks at ball 1. One for 3 this afternoon, plus a single for Chisenhall. And is in there a strike. Pretty good series for Lonnie. 4 hits in the series, including a homer. He's knocked in a couple. He represents the tying run right now in a 2-run spread. And that ball is hit in the air. Shallow right field should get him out of the inning as Martinez comes in to make the play. Inning over. They get a couple of runs. We go to the bottom of the 8th. A little bit of everything for the Tigers today as they lead this one. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-5 is our score. Tigers about to hit the Indians today by 2, and we've got a new pitcher. That'll be Cody Allen.
Allen is their closer. And he's been in 6 games this year, and you can see he's off to a slow start. The earned run average, he's given up 8 earned runs already this year, and the opponents are hitting .375 against him.
So the Tigers will send up James McCann, then Jose Iglesias and Rajai Davis. McCann drops down a bunt. It's going to be a tough play, and there's no play for Chisenhall. We saw Brian Holiday do that quite a bit last year. McCann lays one down.
That's a great idea, and well executed bunt by James McCann. Takes his time. He gets the ball down toward third base. Nothing Chisenhall could do because he was playing 5 steps in back of third base.
Here is Iglesias. Single strikeout flyout. Showing bunt, pulls it back.
And Cody Allen throws very hard. That last fastball at 93, he threw it up in the strike zone on purpose. Knowing that Iglesias was up there trying to bunt, he was hoping that he would offer at it and bunt it up in the air.
That is bunted, first base side. Throw is in time, and Iglesias is out, but he sacrifices.
Nicely executed by Mr. Iglesias. Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Tigers were off to a fast start, courtesy of their fast center fielder, and Rajai Davis, who triples to lead off the game, and he came home to score. And Ian Kinsler base hit.
Davis has an infield hit by a pitch, a triple, and a run scored. In fact, he scored 3 in this game. The Tigers would love to get McCann home here. Right now a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 8th. And Rajai looks at a ball outside, 1-0.
If you're wondering about the arm strength of the outfielders, Brantley in left field, he does everything right out there. Quick release, accurate arm. Not a great arm, but he's very accurate. Bourne and Moss in center and right, their arms are a touch below average.
One ball and 1 strike on Rajai Davis. Well, the Tigers closer warming up now, Joakim Soria.
Joakim has been perfect this year. And he was perfect in spring training, too.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Davis.
And for the most part, Allen, 2 pitches, fastball, curveball. Fastball mid to upper 90s, and he's got an outstanding curveball when he has confidence in it. But judging by the way that he pitched the tail end of last year and the start that he's gotten off to this year, he's not pitching with much confidence. His earned run average is over 14 right now. That closer's role could be something.
Not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. And they're all different types of saves. That'll bounce in there. Good block at home plate by Perez.
You've got to have a short memory whether you're having success or not as a closer.
ERA a touch over 2 last year in 76 appearances, 24 saves for Cody Allen. The 23rd round selection has worked his way up into a big league closer. And he did not go.
Cody Allen blew his last save opportunity, and it was a bad save. The Tribe had a 3-run lead going into the 9th inning in Chicago, and Cody coughed up the lead.
Here's the 3-2 coming home. And Rajay singles back up the middle. Here comes McCann, third. They're going to stop him there. Davis is on base again.
Credit Michael Bourne in center field for getting a great jump on that base hit up the middle and getting to it quick enough that Dave Clark was forced into holding McCann at third. Rajay hurt himself.
Right there.
Man, let's hope it's not that same injury as last year.
Coming out of the game.
Well, they didn't even waste. They didn't waste any time either.
He just started walking off the field. That means Anthony Ghost is going to have to come in. He'll pitch, run, and play, or play center field after pinch running here. So Davis gets his third hit of the day, but he is forced to leave the game. First and third for the Tigers, one out as they try and build on a 7-5 lead here. Ian Kinsler with 2 hits and RBI. He has scored a couple of runs. Runner goes. Goes on the very first pitch. Throw down to second. Not in time. Ball gets away.
How about Ghost, man? He wasn't even loose.
You know, as he was walking down the field, Brad Ausmus stopped and whispered something in his ear, and then Ghost just continued to first base. Must have been going the first pitch.
That could have been it, because he definitely took off.
That'll put 2 men in scoring position. Draw the infield in now. Third steal of the year for Ghost. Ball low and away, 2-0.
Now Ian Kinsler sitting in a really nice spot right now. The count is 2 balls, no strikes. There's runners on second and third, and you got Miguel Cabrera in the on-deck circle. So you're going to get something good to hit.
Strike call, 2-1. There's Cabrera waiting on deck, so Cody Allen did not give in there on 2-0.
And Miggy will not hit in the inning if Kinsler is not fortunate enough to drive in the runs. He'll walk Miguel again.
Three balls, 1 strike. And he lost him. That's going to load the bases. Fans, don't forget to follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replays, and a whole lot more. Get at Bat for your smartphone or your tablet.
Well, Cody Allen has put himself in a horrible position. The bases loaded and the game's best hitter in the batter's box.
They are loaded up for Miguel Cabrera. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Big day today for Miggy, 3 for 4, including a 2-run homer. He can break this one open again. Cabrera now tied with Jim Edmonds for 57th all-time with 393 home runs. Bouncing in, blocked by Perez, 1-1.
And Miguel Cabrera in 6 games this year against Tribe pitching is hitting .652, 15 of 23. And Cody, really going back to last year, has been struggling against the Tigers. 7 earned runs for Cody Allen in his last 2 2/3 innings of work against Tigers batters.
Again, down to block it is Perez, 2-1.
Now what are you throwing, Cody? Miggy has spit on the 2 breaking balls out of the strike zone.
He's 4-11 with a base-loaded career.
Does he dare throw him a fastball here?
We are about to find out. 2-1. Fly ball right field. Moss going over to the corner. He'll make the catch. Runner at third, McCann comes around to score. That'll be a sacrifice fly. Tigers get a big run in there. Now it's 8-5.
Miguel is such an unselfish player that really all he was trying to do once he got himself in a nice favorable fastball count was hit something deep enough to at least get the sac fly. He was very aggressive early, but then he kind of sat back and hit one deep enough to get the run in.
Third RBI of the day for Cabrera. 13th of the season. And the Tigers up by 3 now with men at first and third. Here is Victor Martinez. Popped up third base side, and that will end the inning. However, the Tigers get a big run, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. .85 is our score as we go to the ninth inning, and last call now for the Cleveland Indians. Joakim Soria will come in and try and nail this one shut.
Let's take a look at the big boys, big play of the game. Yoenis Cespedes has turned in a lot of nice plays already this season. Makes another fine grab today.
So we'll get a pinch hitter to start things off. For the Indians here in the 9th inning, it'll be David Murphy to start things. And Soria delivers ball 1. 8 runs on 13 Tigers hits, 5 runs on 9 hits for the Tribe. Numbers on Soria. Foul straight back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. A couple of defensive changes as well. Anthony Go stays in the game and plays center. Andrew Romine takes over for Castellanos at third base. High, towering fly ball deep into right field. JD going back, track wall, and it's going to carry out and gone. Murphy with a pinch hit home run to start things off here in the 9th. That'll make it 8-6.
Insurance run in the last half inning, big, and by the Tigers.
Ball 1 to Michael Bourne. He hits one in the air to deep left center. Ghosts on the move. He'll run it down to the gap. 1 away. Top of the order now, Jason Kipnis. He's been held hitless so far in this game, Kipnis. It's the first home run given up by Soria this year.
Second run given up by Soria.
Kipnis 1 for 4 career against Joaquin. Make it 0-2. And the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Kipnis. That'll get back out of play. Tigers on their way to Minnesota next. It'll be a 10-game swing through the Midwest, Minnesota. That'll begin things for the Tigers.
I saw a stat today that kind of surprised me. Nelson Cruz of the Seattle Mariners has 9 homers this year, and coming into play today, the Minnesota Twins have 9 home runs as a team.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It'll be the Twins, Royals, and White Sox on the next trip. Oh, that one just missed. 3-2 on Kipnis. Just a touch low. Indians need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. And they'll get that base runner. 1-out walk. That'll bring up Mike Aviles. Home run by the pinch hitter Murphy has cut the lead to 8-6. Aviles singled, scored a run in the 8th. Indians have been a scrappy bunch today, and they have not given in to the Tigers. There's a strike, 0-1. Soria ready with the 0-1. Here it is. Popped him up. Shallow left field. Cespedes charging. Still coming. And it's going to take a great play by Iglesias. Oh, my goodness, that ball nearly dropped in. What a play by Iglesias.
That's why you're taught as a middle infielder to go as long and hard as you can until you hear the outfielder call you off. Cespedes was not going to make this play because he was playing very deep, because they were playing no doubles depth, and Iglesias just continued to run and run and run until he got there and made the play.
He's just flat out a magician.
He's special. Got that walk too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But if you can do it, it ain't bragging.
No, it's not.
2 gone. And that's going to leave it up to Brantley.
Yeah, just keep Brantley in the ballpark. That's all you have to do. Keep him in the ballpark.
Fans to their feet now, 30,000 plus for this one. Runner goes with no throw. Kipnis will cruise into second. No stolen base for Kipnis. Defensive indifference. 8-6. Tigers lead with 2 outs in the 9th. That's it for a strike. 1-1 on Michael Brantley. Got word on Rajay Davis, a tight right groin. He is day-to-day. Here's the 1-1. Strike called. 1-2 on Brantley.
Really nice cut fastball thrown there at 91 by Soria. Brantley thought it was off the plate, but it was right on the outer edges, on the black, outside.
One more strike for Soria.
Brantley's taken 2 fastballs for strikes. Might have been sitting on something soft, something off speed until 2 strikes. He can no longer do that.
Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias with the hop. And the Tigers hold on to win this one today.
Another great win by the Tigers, who go out on the road winning another series here this afternoon.
7th save of the season, which ties Soria for the league lead. And the Tigers win this afternoon by 2. We'll be back.